May 20th, 2023, Bakhmut, Donetsk Oblast. Evgeny Prigozhin, commander of Wagner mercenary group, stands in rubble. Behind him, the destroyed city. 95% of buildings damaged or destroyed. No intact structures, just concrete skeletons, collapsed walls, cratered streets. He raises a Wagner flag, claims victory. Bakhmut is taken. The cost: 20,000 Wagner fighters dead, 10,000 regular Russian troops dead, 2,000 Ukrainian defenders killed. For what? Ruins. A city that no longer exists. No strategic value, no economic worth. Just ash and blood. 360 kilometers south in Kherson, the situation is different but equally grim. The city was liberated in November 2022. Ukrainians celebrated. Flags waved, freedom returned. Then Russian artillery began firing every day from the eastern bank of Dnipro River. Distance 1 to 3 kilometers. Too close for safety, too far for assault. The city became a free fire zone. Markets shelled, hospitals struck, residential buildings hit. Intentional targeting of civilians, war crime by definition. But it continues. This is WarFist TV, where we analyze the battles that change wars. Because Bakhmut and Kherson tell the same story. Russian strategy is not to win territory. It's to make Ukraine uninhabitable, to destroy cities, to kill civilians, to create ghost towns where cities stood. This is genocide by artillery. Hit subscribe. You need to see what total war against civilians actually looks like. Bakhmut before the war was unremarkable. Population 73,000. Mining town, coal, gypsum, salt, iron production. Local champagne was famous. Underground tunnels from mining, Soviet-era apartment blocks, small city center, parks, schools, normal Ukrainian city. Strategic value was limited. Road junction, rail connection. T-Aero 513 highway to Sloviansk and Kramatorsk control Bakhmut, threaten larger cities, but not critical, not irreplaceable. Ukraine could have abandoned it, shortened defensive lines, saved resources. They chose to defend. Reasons were complex. Military, tying down Russian forces. Every battalion attacking Bakhmut is not attacking elsewhere. Political, showing resolve, demonstrating Ukraine won't surrender cities without fighting. Symbolic, if Russia takes nothing, they achieve nothing. The defense of Bakhmut began in May 2022. Russian forces approached from east. Initial probing attacks. Ukrainian forces defended from prepared positions. The fighting was intense but manageable. August 2022. Wagner Group arrives. Private military company, mercenaries, led by Prigozhin. Recruited from Russian prisons, offered pardons for 6 months combat, expendable troops, assault infantry, human wave tactics. Wagner changed the battle, not through skill, through mass. They attacked constantly, small groups, 5 to 10 men, advancing under artillery cover, taking casualties, replaced by next wave, grinding forward meter by meter. Ukrainian forces inflicted heavy casualties, machine guns, mortars, artillery, anti-tank weapons against infantry. But Wagner kept coming. The attrition was mutual. Ukraine lost experienced soldiers, Russia lost convicts. The exchange rate favored Ukraine, but the pressure was relentless. Russian artillery pounded Bakhmut daily. 152 122 Grad rockets, TOS-1 thermobaric systems, unguided, indiscriminate. The goal was destruction, not precision strikes, not targeting military positions, just destroying everything. Buildings collapsed, infrastructure failed, water, electricity, gas, heat, all gone by October 2022. Which factor made Bakhmut most destructive? A. Wagner human waves. B. Russian artillery volume. C. Duration of fighting. Comment your answer. Civilians evacuated. 73,000 became 10,000 by December 2022, 5,000 by February 2023, 1,000 by April 2023. Those who remained were elderly, immobile, stubborn, or trapped. Ukrainian authorities urged evacuation, organized buses, trains, but some refused to leave. This was home. Where would they go? The destruction accelerated. January 2023. Russian forces surrounded Bakhmut on 3 sides: north, south, east. Only western exit remained. Ukrainian supply route, narrow corridor, under Russian artillery fire. Dangerous to traverse, but necessary. Ammunition, food, medical supplies, reinforcements, all through that corridor. February 2023. Wagner pushed into eastern districts, house-to-house fighting, every building contested. Ukrainian defenders used Soviet tactics, upper floors for observation, middle floors for fighting positions, basements for shelter and movement. Each building became a fortress. Wagner cleared them with grenades, flamethrowers, explosives, brutal close combat. Both sides lost heavily. March 2023. Central Bakhmut becomes battlefield. The city center, administrative buildings, shopping district all destroyed. Artillery from both sides. The multi-story buildings collapsed, turned into rubble. Streets filled with debris, impassable to vehicles. Soldiers fight through the ruins. Rubble provides cover, but also conceals enemies. Ambushes common, casualties high. April 2023. Wagner controls 60% of Bakhmut, but at extreme cost. Prigozhin publicly states Wagner lost 20,000 men. Actual number might be higher. Nobody knows exact casualties. Russia doesn't publish. Wagner doesn't care. The convicts are expendable by design. Ukrainian losses are lower but significant. Estimated 2,000 to 3,000 killed, 10,000 wounded, for a city that is already destroyed. Stay with me. Understanding why Russia continued fighting for ruins explains their entire war strategy. May 20th, 2023. Wagner takes final districts. Ukrainian forces withdraw, organized retreat, fall back to prepared positions west of city. Bakhmut falls, Russian victory, technical victory. They control the ruins, rubble, nothing else. No infrastructure, no buildings, no population, no economic value. Zero strategic gain. The cost-benefit analysis is absurd. Russia lost 30,000 men. Ukraine lost 2,000 to 3,000. Russia gained nothing. Ukraine delayed Russian advance for 12 months. Every month Bakhmut held, Ukraine built defenses elsewhere, trained troops, received Western equipment. The strategic impact favored Ukraine, but Bakhmut is gone. As a city, it no longer exists. Reconstruction will cost billions, decades, maybe never. Some cities don't recover from total destruction. 360 kilometers south, Kherson tells different story, but same ending. Kherson before war, population 280,000, regional capital, only regional capital Russia captured, port city on Dnipro River, agricultural hub, normal city, pretty, historic. March 2nd, 2022. Russian forces capture Kherson, minimal fighting. Ukrainian forces withdrew rather than fight in populated city. Russian occupation begins. Lasted 8 months. During occupation, Russia attempted normalization, installed puppet administration, forced Russian curriculum in schools, issued Russian passports, held fake referendum on joining Russia. Nobody believed it. Ukrainian resistance operated throughout. Partisans, sabotage, intelligence gathering, assassinations of collaborators. Russian forces responded with brutality. Detention centers, torture, disappearances. Thousands of Kherson residents deported to Russia. Estimates vary. 10 to 15,000 forcibly relocated. September 2022. Ukrainian counteroffensive begins. Gradual advance, liberating villages, destroying Russian supply lines. HIMARS strikes on bridges across Dnipro, Antonovsky Bridge, Railway Bridge. Russian logistics collapse. Cannot resupply Kherson adequately. November 11th, 2022. Russia withdraws, blows up bridges behind them. Ukrainian forces enter Kherson. Population celebrates. Liberation, freedom, hope. The celebration lasted 1 day. November 12th. Russian artillery begins firing from eastern bank of Dnipro, across river, distance 1 to 3 kilometers. Every part of Kherson is in range. 152 mm howitzers, 122 mm guns, Grad rockets. The shelling is daily, multiple times daily. Targeting is deliberate. Civilians, markets, bus stops, hospitals, residential areas. Christmas Day 2022. Market struck, 10 killed. January 2023. Hospital hit, 7 dead including doctor. March 2023. Residential building, 12 killed. April 2024. Shopping center, 5 killed. If targeting civilians is terrorism, type WarFist TV in the comments. The pattern is clear. Russia shells when civilians gather. Morning, bread lines. People queuing for food. Shell lands. Casualties. Midday. Market. People shopping. Shell lands. Casualties. Evening. residential areas, families at home, shell lands, casualties. There is no military benefit, no tactical advantage, just terror. Make the city unlivable, force evacuation, create depopulation. This is the strategy. Population decreased from 280,000 to 60,000. 75% fled. Those who remain face daily danger. Random death from above. No warning. No shelter adequate against 152mm shells. The destruction is systematic. 50% of buildings damaged. Some completely destroyed. Most have broken windows, shrapnel damage. Some collapse from direct hits. Infrastructure is barely functional. Electricity restored repeatedly. Shelled again. Water systems damaged, repaired, damaged again. Heat in winter intermittent. Medical facilities overwhelmed. Casualties daily. Limited supplies. International law is clear. Deliberate targeting of civilians is war crime. Indiscriminate attacks on civilian areas are war crime. Attacks causing disproportionate civilian harm are war crime. Russia violates all three every day in Kherson, and nobody stops them. Condemnation, sanctions, international criminal court investigations. But the shelling continues. Because Russia faces no immediate consequence, the psychological impact is severe. Residents describe constant fear, cannot plan, cannot live normally. Any trip outside might be last. Parents keep children indoors. Schools closed. Education online when internet works. Businesses shuttered. Economy collapsed. This is the goal. Make Kherson uninhabitable without formally occupying it. The comparison between Bakhmut and Kherson reveals Russian strategy. In Bakhmut, destroy city while fighting for it. In Kherson, destroy city after losing it. Both outcomes identical. Cities cease to exist as functioning urban areas. The international response has been inadequate. More air defense for Ukraine, Gepard systems, NASAMS, Patriot batteries. These help intercept some shells, but cannot stop everything. Counter battery radar identifies Russian firing positions. Ukrainian artillery fires back, sometimes effective. But Russian guns are mobile, fire and displace. Hard to destroy. The only solution is pushing Russian forces back. Beyond artillery range, 20 to 30 kilometers from Kherson, requires Ukrainian offensive operations. Crossing Dnipro River, establishing bridgehead on eastern bank, advancing. This is difficult. River is wide, defended. Russian forces are entrenched. The attempts occurred, small scale. Marines crossed, established positions, held for weeks, but couldn't expand, eventually withdrew. The strategic situation remains. Kherson under daily shelling. Residents endure or leave. Answer C. Duration. Human waves and artillery are tactics. Terrible tactics causing massive casualties. But duration made destruction total. 12 months of fighting, every day. Constant artillery. Gradual annihilation. Short battle damages cities. Year-long battle erases them. Bakhmut burned slowly, over months, until nothing remained. The reconstruction challenge is immense. Bakhmut. Estimated cost $10 to $15 billion. Time, 20 to 30 years, if it happens at all. Some cities don't rebuild. Population displaced. Economy gone. No reason to return. Bakhmut might become memorial. Ruins preserved as reminder. Kherson. Estimated reconstruction cost $5 to $8 billion, but shelling continues. Cannot rebuild under fire. Must stop the attacks first, then assess, then plan, then fund, then execute. Decades-long process. Both cities illustrate the true cost of this war. Not just military casualties, not just territory exchanged, complete destruction of urban areas. Hundreds of thousands displaced, communities destroyed, cultures erased. This is Russia's legacy. Bakhmut, Mariupol, Kherson, Severodonetsk, Lysychansk, Volnovakha, rubble and memories. Should Ukraine have defended Bakhmut? Can Kherson survive continued shelling? Will these cities ever recover? Comment your thoughts. Subscribe to WarFist TV. We document the realities of total war. Bakhmut no longer exists. Satellite imagery shows before and after. Before, city with buildings, streets, infrastructure. After, gray wasteland. Impact craters, collapsed structures, nothing recognizable. Kherson struggles to exist, daily shelling, constant casualties, gradual depopulation, slow death of a city. This is Russia's strategy. Not military victory, not territorial control. Annihilation, genocide of cities, destruction of Ukrainian urban life, and the world watches, documents, condemns. But the shells keep falling. The buildings keep collapsing. The civilians keep dying. And Russian artillery keeps firing because there is no consequence severe enough to stop them. Not yet. 73,000 people lived in Bakhmut. Now it's 500, in ruins. 280,000 lived in Kherson. Now it's 60,000, under constant attack. These are not statistics. These are communities erased, families displaced, lives destroyed. This is the reality of modern total war. Documented, undeniable, unforgivable. Stay vigilant.